right, thanks for opening your garden gates for us. And right now we're going to be talking about brightening up those shady corners. And joining me is Mae Sanchez from Barton Springs Nursery.
Yep.
And great to have you back on the program, Mae.
Thanks for having me.
Always fun,
Yep.
and you always bring along such great plants with you.
I couldn't decide. I just grabbed a bunch on my way out. There's so much to look at right now.
Yeah, well, this is the time of year, and you know, Barton Springs Nursery, always known for being kind of native plant headquarters, but so many cool things that are available there, tropical as well, things that that you've learned over the years that are really well adapted for Central Texas. And this is one of the tough situations. People do have lots of shade to deal with, and adding interest in the shade is difficult. So you depend on lots of different leaf forms and
Textures
colors.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking for that full sun or that shady plant that'll bloom year round and deer resistant and all that. But
Right.
You have to sacrifice color sometimes for texture or form or something like that.
Well, speaking of texture, but bringing along some color, lots of variegated plants that work well in the shade. And we have a couple of grassy ones we're going to start with. This is called Aztec grass. It's a form of liriope.
Yep, it's a pretty common landscape plant around here. It's been around for a while, but that's because it's so tough. Variegated plants are just a good way to brighten up a corner in the yard or just a shady area, draw the eye to that. Aztec grass is a great kind of border plant if you wanted to line a bed with it. Blooms in the summer, little white blooms.
Right. I like it a whole lot because exactly what we're talking about. Because in a shady situation, this kind of cream-colored foliage will pop out, and it's really tough. It is evergreen.
It is. This past winter it took a little bit of a hit, but not much.
I would say maybe
back.
1 in 10 winters you'll have to cut it to the ground or something like that. But it will come back.
Yep.
And it's just a really terrific plant, and
White
one that
and
is easy to find and affordable as well.
Yes, it's pretty common, and most nurseries are going to have that. But
yeah, and you can start it from a gallon pot or a 4-inch pot. You know, really great.
Can get a couple feet high if you let it, if it's in really good soil.
Yeah.
So.
Now, a very similar looking plant, but one that it has even finer texture, and I really like this plant a whole lot for the kind of tufting mound that it creates.
Yep.
And I can tell just by touching this, it's a sedge.
It's a sedge, Carex.
Yeah.
Carex is a great hardy genus for the shade. A lot of them are shade tolerant. This has a real bold variegation. It's the yellow and green.
And this is which form is this? It's the
Variegated Japanese,
Variegated
morrowii.
Japanese sedge. And
deer resistant, evergreen. They're usually more cold tolerant than heat tolerant, if anything. So definitely shade in the summer, especially. A little extra water will keep them looking good.
Yeah.
They're pushing off their blooms right now just for more contrast.
Right.
It's another thing variegated plants are good for. It's contrasting with other, they bring out color in other plants.
Well, I really like the look of this. The fine bladed foliage and the kind of very regular kind of variegation with a bold center stripe on it is really cool.
It's a little more expensive, and it looks great planted en masse.
Yeah.
But it's worth it for if you have shade that you're dealing with in deer.
Right. Well, if you got deer, you don't have many options, so this might be a great one.
Yep.
So look for the variegated Japanese sedge. Now, another variegated plant that you brought along, one of my all-time favorites, is the variegated ginger.
A little more tender.
Yes, definitely on the tender side during the winter time, but beautiful during the summer.
Oh yeah, and it's big. It can take up a large area in the garden or a bed.
Right.
Planted around oak trees even. But it can get up 4 feet tall, sometimes taller if it's protected enough.
Right. And it's got that kind of golden kind of color to it, which is, I think, really stunning. And again, I like to plant these in odd numbered groups, and kind of really quickly provides that kind of naturalistic look in a garden, very soft kind of quality, and again, brightening up a dark corner. So variegated ginger, kind of a long-time favorite now in area gardens.
Yep.
Next to that, we have a little monster that I love this plant. It's bamboo grass.
or palm grass, it's also called.
There you go, palm grass, thank you. That's
has these accordion-like leaves that will open and close depending on its moisture content.
And this one, let me tell you, folks, this is a little bit on the aggressive side, but you gotta love it. It's just, I think, a stunning grass.
Yeah, it can get about this tall. It blooms in the late summer, maybe 3 to 4 feet, I guess, when it's
4
blooming.
Feet, yeah, 4 feet tall.
And then the
easily,
seeds, if you let it go to seed, it'll go to seed and pop up in the surrounding areas. But it's easy to rip out.
It is easy to control, and it's not like nasty foreign invader, but it is definitely one that you can count on reproducing itself.
That's good. If you got this, you can share it.
Right.
Transplant it.
But beautiful form, perfect for the shade.
Yeah.
Now, to answer the question about color in the shade, meaning bloom, you've brought an assortment of different salvias, appropriately red, white, and blue salvias here.
I didn't even realize I did that.
Well, we have a couple different forms of the tropical sage, what looks to me, the white and the red.
The Salvia coccinea. A lot of people think of salvias as being full sun plants.
Right.
Salvia gregae is kind of all over the place here, but it's tough.
Right.
But there's several salvias that can tolerate shade and bloom in the shade. They might grow a little differently, a little bit taller than they would in the shade. Their leaves will be a little bit bigger and greener, but they'll still bloom for you. Salvia coccinea, the red and white, it also comes in pink and white, a bicolor one. They will reseed for you as well, pretty prolifically. At least the red one will that I know of.
And then next to it, we have the blue Salvia guaranitica, and that one is called black and blue, right?
For the black calyx with the blue bloom.
And the color on that one, I have to say, is my all-time favorite flower color in the garden. That
royal blue
is
almost.
It's just spectacular, rich, deep blue. Really love that plant.
That's another good one that, it will spread also. We were talking about that earlier. It spreads by rhizomes, so you do need to control that if you don't have the space for it, but it's easy enough to do.
Put a border around it, and you can keep it in check.
Yeah.
It works really, really well. You can use stone or anything else that goes under the soil just a little bit, and we'll keep it from spreading out.
Deer resistant, too. All of the salvias tend to be.
That's an
important
point.
Yeah.
Important point. Another one of the gingers, and this is the shelled pink, right, that we're looking at?
Shell ginger, it has a pink, really unbelievable bloom if you get it to bloom. It has to have a pretty mild winter to bloom, so it's every few years we might have it where it doesn't die down all the way and comes back from the roots. But it's basically the non-variegated form of the variegated ginger.
Right. And it's, again, a graceful form, a really nice tropical kind of look to it.
It is. It's tall. It can get 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall easily.
Right.
It grows great under oak trees or cedar elms or any dappled shade, light shade.
And when it blooms, it's really showy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Very, very showy plant. So, again, not every year, but
worth the wait.
Yeah, just worth the wait for the shell ginger. Here's a plant we haven't talked about in a long time, and I really like Mahonia.
Yeah,
and
it's kind of underappreciated.
I think it's tough. It's a survivor, and has one of the funkiest cool blooms going.
Yeah, in the winter. It blooms in the winter usually, late winter. These yellow blooms that'll form these purple-like berries. It's also called Oregon grape, is a common name for Mahonia.
Right.
But this one is especially tough here. Leather leaf. Obviously has a thick leather-like leaf, evergreen. You can read that it gets 8 to 10 feet. Here it's going to get, I've never seen one taller than maybe 5 feet or so. It grows really slowly. It gets kind of a grayish leaf color when it's mature. In dry shade, it doesn't really need any care at all.
A little on the prickly side.
Yeah, it is. But that's all right.
But yeah, it's an easy plant to work
the kids
with.
out of
Very
the garden.
forgiving.
Yeah.
It is a good boundary plant.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, that keeps the kids out. This draws them in.
Yeah, right.
Right. And I just wanted to touch base on this one briefly because that is such a stunning color.
Yeah,
I really like lemon yellow.
I couldn't resist bringing it when I saw it. It pops out, and it's shade tolerant. And in a shade garden, that'll just.
And this is lemon rosemallow.
It's a hibiscus in the hibiscus
obviously
family,
hibiscus with this foliage and this bloom, right?
Dies down in the winter, comes back most winters, root hardy.
Right.
And blooms all summer, on and off. This is loaded with buds. It's just now starting.
Yeah, lots of different forms of rosemallow. Lots of different colors.
Yep.
And
but the yellow's great for the shade.
Yeah. This would really pop out in the shade.
Yeah.
Now, real briefly, tell me about this. It's called Red Dragon.
Red Dragon, Persicaria. It's kind of a sprawling, root-hardy perennial. It's going to get maybe 2, maybe 3 feet tall, and probably 3 to 4 feet wide. And it's just now starting to bloom these delicate white blooms all summer long.
Okay. Well, little tiny blooms, beautiful foliage, a nice sprawling plant for the shade.
Yep.
All right. Well, Mae, you've brought along a lot of inspiration for these dark corners, and I hope folks will visit you at Barton Springs Nursery.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Always good to see you.
You too.
And coming up next, it's Daphne Richards.